What if I told you that charging more for your gigs could actually land you more work and better gigs? I'm Terrence, and I've been a full-time musician for over 30 years. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly why higher prices lead to higher value and how you can use this strategy to transform your music career. So to understand this amazing strategy I'm about to show you, understanding the concept of perceived value is important to understand. So let me break that down really quickly with an analogy. Let's say I have two laptops here and I'm going to give you one of them. You can choose which one I'm going to give you. Now, both of these laptops have the exact same specs on them: hard drive space, processor speed, monitor size, all of that kind of stuff. They're exactly the same. But one of them is a Windows laptop and the other one is a MacBook Pro. Which one are you choosing? You're probably going to choose the MacBook Pro, right? And the reason is because the MacBook Pro, in our culture has a higher perceived value. Although the technical value of it is the same because all of the components on both of these laptops are exactly the same, but people see a MacBook Pro as something more valuable. They perceive it as more valuable. So the question becomes, how do you attain this high perceived value, kind of like the MacBook Pro? Well, it's actually pretty easy, and I'll show you exactly how to do it. But let me first get into the reasons why this works so well. And it's really three reasons. And the first reason is because higher prices signal higher value. So let me take you back to when I first moved to the city that I live in now. And there was this church that was trying to hire me to be their director of music. But they had a price in their mind that they wanted to pay a director of music. And what I quoted them based on what they wanted me to do was almost double their price. I think it was like $500 a week at the time they were trying to offer. And I told them that I was going to need like $1,000, maybe even $1,100 a week to do what they were asking me to do. But this caused this discrepancy in their mind. They couldn't understand like we thought this was the value of a director of music, this $500 or $600 a week. Why are you coming in and charging us more? So this is what happened. I started explaining to them that I had over 15 years of experience in doing this at the time. I told them about who I've played with and the things I've done, and I have a degree in music, and all of these things, basically creating this value package to help them understand what was going on here and why I was asking for this price. And even though they were still hesitant to do it, they understood the value that I was bringing to the table, and we made it work. And I came in and transformed their music department, brought the value that I said. I delivered on my promise and did everything I was going to do. And the lesson is that, again, is that the higher prices that you charge, people see that as more valuable. This is the whole reason for the MacBook Pro analogy. The reason that people see the MacBook Pro here as more valuable, one of the biggest reasons, is because it costs more. The new MacBook Pro, you're gonna pay like $2,000 for it almost, whereas the equivalent version of that, Windows version of that, is gonna cost half the price. So people automatically think that the higher priced stuff is more valuable. Now, right before we get to the next reason, if you're getting value out of this video so far, do me a quick favor and click the like button on this video. That helps this video to spread to more people, and I would really appreciate it. Now, the second reason why this strategy works so well is because you attract serious clients. It's funny that it's always the case that the people who don't want to pay are the people who want the most. I had a client a few years ago that I was doing some music production for. He had reached out to me to do music production on his album. But what happened was, during the process of us talking about it, he kept trying to get me to come down on my price. We were negotiating. He was like, can you come down on this? Can you cut me some slack? Can you cut me a deal on this and all of that kind of stuff? And this was during the pandemic, and I was like, okay. And then the guy had some really good music, so I was like, I believe in him a little bit. So I made some deals and stuff with him. But during the process of us getting this work done, this music work done, This dude kept asking for more and more and more and more, like nonstop. It was like, hey, can you add this? Hey, can we do an extra studio day here? Hey, I know our session was 3 hours today, but can we do 5 hours instead? Can we do this? Can you add that? And it was just like, oh my God, dude, like I cut you a deal on all of this. And that means I'm going beneath my prices and you're asking for more? Like, what the hell? And what that made me realize is that people who don't respect your price don't respect you, your talent, or your time. And that's just the way that it is. And since that time, I've stuck to my guns on pretty much everything that I've done now. Like, I don't give many deals on the things that I offer because I understand my value in what I bring to the table. And because of that, I've attracted better clients. Like, I don't get these people that come in and just start asking for stuff anymore. But question, have you ever dealt with people like that who try to get you to go down on your price and don't respect your time and all of that? Let me know in the comments. And that leads to the third reason why this strategy works so well. And it leads to a big realization that I had while playing on a yacht full of millionaires. But I'll get to that in just a second. So the third reason is because better clients lead to better gigs. So this is something that just happened a couple years ago. I got a call about playing on a yacht, like I just mentioned, and it was for a big time millionaire. So I got the call to do it and I told them my price. And of course they agreed to the price right away. I mean, it's not like millionaires don't have the money. So already I got a better client. Now, the challenge was getting on the yacht. It was like a security thing, man. Like, it was almost like you were playing for the president. Like, I had to pull my shoes off. They didn't want you to have shoes on the yacht. They wand you with the, metal detector wand and pretty much watch you the whole time and all of this kind of stuff. But what was good about this situation was that everything was provided for me. When I tell you, literally all I had to do was show up and play. They had a piano there. They had food and drink ready for me there. They spent the whole night asking me if I needed anything, if I wanted anything, or anything like that. Just the best situation that you would ever think of. And I only played like an hour and a half and made, I don't want to price drop here, but again, it was over $1,000. So just for an hour and a half, just to show up and play. And again, that's the kind of situation that I'm talking about here. When you raise your prices and all of the stuff that we've talked about here, the reasons why this strategy works so well, is you attract these high profile clients that understand value. Not one time while I was playing there did I have someone like you doing these cheap gigs, hey, we don't really have any food for you, or hey, you can't get something from the bar here to drink. Like, everything here is just like money tight, so we can't give you anything. Like, it was a completely giving situation. And again, that taught me the lesson of that when you put this strategy in place that I'm about to show you, again, you attract all of these better clients and, you're able to raise your prices and get higher value from people. But there is one caveat to everything I'm saying here. And that is when you increase your prices and increase your perceived value, you also have to increase your actual value. You can't charge Lamborghini prices and show up as a Toyota Corolla. So, how do you increase your perceived value so that you can charge a lot more for your gigs, get better gigs and the better clients and all of that? Well, there's really 3 ways, and they're really easy and they're really quick, and I'll give them to you really quickly. The first one is in how you show up. So the easy way to think about this is that, say you wanted to hire someone to come in and do your taxes. You put out an ad and 2 people show up. And one of these people has on a suit and tie, has a briefcase, paperwork, and all of that kind of stuff. The other person shows up in a wife beater and jeans that are sagging and tennis shoes and a cap. Which one of these 2 are you more likely to hire? It's the person that showed up looking like a tax agent, right? The person in the suit and tie. And that's because we inevitably or inherently understand Like the way that we show up, the way that we present ourselves says a lot about our value. So when you want to increase your perceived value, you need to show up as the thing that you're trying to be. So show up as a professional. Now, the next way to increase perceived value is through credibility. So what you want to do is ask the question of, what do the people who you are around most, like the musicians you play with mostly and all of that, what do they say about you when you're not in the room with them? Do they say, oh, he's a cool guy, he's a cool musician, I like working with him, or all of that kind of stuff, he's really good at what he does? Or do they say stuff like, man, he's an asshole, or he's hard to work with, he never shows up knowing his music, and all of that kind of stuff? The difference between these two things, I'm telling you, is the thing that I have seen be one of the most detrimental things that separate successful musicians from non-successful ones. So when you have people vouching for you and can say good things about you, that's going to skyrocket your perceived value. Now, this third one is my favorite, and it's the one that I absolutely use the most, and that is scarcity. And what this means is that you can't be too available. Like, you can't always be available for every gig that everybody calls you for the price that they want to pay you for it, all of this kind of stuff. You can't make yourself available for everything. And the reason for this is because people don't tend to value things that they can get easily and are readily available, right? And this also goes into your pricing structure and stuff too, because when you have lower prices, something that's easily, readily available and easily accessible, people see that stuff as budget rather than something that's valuable, right? So think about like Rolex watches. Rolex watches are really expensive watches, although all they do is really tell time. And, they're made from some valuable pieces, of course, or valuable parts. But it's still a watch that just tells time. And the exclusivity of a Rolex watch makes it more valuable. So the people who have Rolex watches are seen as these high valuable people, right? Or high value people. So that's something that's important to understand: scarcity and not making yourself available for everything. Now, if you found this video helpful, I have an entire video series on turning your passion into a paycheck, where I break down exactly how to increase your actual value. So go check that video out right here, right now, and I'll see you in the next video.